You know what hurts the most? Giving your all, pouring every ounce of your soul into something and still hearing silence. No applause, no validation, nothing. But here's the truth most people are too soft to admit. That silence is power. Real power doesn't need a crowd. Real winners don't scream about their grind. They live it every day without needing permission or praise. You see, life isn't fair. No one's coming to save you. No one owes you a damn thing. So if you want it, you fight for it. Alone, in the dark, when everyone's asleep. That's when warriors are made. Let the others chase clout. Let them flex fake lifestyles. They'll burn out. But you'll be building an empire brick by silent brick. Because when you finally walk into the light, when your results start screaming louder than your voice ever could, that's when the world will ask how you did it. And you'll smile because they never saw you coming. The silence was your strategy. The grind was your weapon. And the success, that's your vengeance. Silence is strength. In a world addicted to noise, likes, retweets, notifications, fake hustle, and empty validation, the ones who keep quiet, who put their heads down and do the work without needing to prove anything, are the real beasts. Society has fooled you into thinking that if you're not constantly showing, talking, or posting about your grind, you're not doing enough. But that's a lie told by people more obsessed with attention than progress. The truth is, real power doesn't need a microphone. The ones who dominate life, business, and legacy are not the ones shouting from the rooftops. They're the ones you didn't see coming until it was too late. You know why? Because they understood that energy spent proving yourself could have been energy invested in becoming undeniable. When you're silent, you're dangerous. You don't give the enemy a roadmap. You don't let the doubters measure your next move. You keep them guessing, and in that uncertainty, you grow. The loudest in the room is often the weakest. The one trying to convince themselves and everyone else that they're strong. But the quiet ones, they're too busy becoming what the loud ones pretend to be. That silence isn't weakness. It's focus, it's clarity, it's tunnel vision on the goal while the rest of the world is distracted by applause. The loud one posts his gym session. The silent one transforms his body. The loud one talks about starting a business. The silent one builds an empire brick by brick while the world sleeps. The loud one complains. The silent one adapts, endures, evolves. See the difference? Talk is cheap. Discipline is priceless. The silent grind has no witnesses, no fanfare. But when results show up, they're undeniable. The house you built in the dark becomes the mansion that blocks the sun in the morning. Think about wolves. They don't bark to prove they're wolves. They move silently through the forest, calculated, precise. That's what you need to become. Less barking, more biting. Let the noise be your enemy. Let people sleep on you. Let them think you're done, that you've slowed down, that you've lost your edge, and then show them who you've become when you didn't care what they thought. There's something unshakable about a person who doesn't need validation to keep going. Their drive comes from within. That's real power. The problem is most people are addicted to approval. They need someone clapping for them to feel like they're winning. That's not strength. That's weakness disguised as ambition. True strength is grinding when no one's watching, winning when no one claps, building when no one believes. You don't need to tell the world your plans. Execute them in silence. Let success do the talking when it's time. Trust me, there's nothing more satisfying than the silence before a storm, especially when you are the storm. When you embrace silence, you start hearing the things that matter. Your own thoughts, your own standards, your own limits being broken. And when you get addicted to that growth, the noise becomes irrelevant. The crowd loses its grip. You stop performing and start transforming. You stop begging to be seen and start becoming impossible to ignore. So understand this. Silence is not the absence of power. It's the buildup of it. And when that power is finally unleashed, when your discipline, your effort, your sacrifice all collide, people won't ask what you said. They'll be in awe of what you became. Because the loudest in the room is rarely the strongest. The strongest is already 5 steps ahead, already moved on to the next mountain, while the rest are still shouting from the first hilltop. Don't be loud, be legendary. Most people want to be seen while they're working. They crave attention, validation, and applause at every stage. They want people to say, look at him go, even before they've actually achieved anything. But real success doesn't work like that. Real success is forged in darkness, when no one's watching, when no one's clapping, when it's just you and the grind. That darkness, that lonely space where it's just your ambition and your discipline is the birthplace of greatness. You don't get stronger in the spotlight. You get stronger when you're suffering in silence, when your muscles burn, when your mind screams, and no one is there to tell you to keep going, except you. Darkness teaches you who you are, strips away the noise, the excuses, the distractions. It reveals your true capacity when there's no one around to impress. You either fold or rise. And the reason most people never make it is because they can't stand the silence. They need people to validate every step of their journey. But the ones who truly become something massive, something unstoppable, are the ones who didn't need to be seen to keep going. They worked with blood in their mouth and pain in their chest, and no one even knew. But that's the beauty of it. When you work in darkness, your results shine so bright, they can't be ignored. Your success becomes your light, not your words, not your posts, not your empty ambition, but the reality you created through relentless, thankless effort. And it's a light that comes from the fire you built in your soul during the lonely nights. While others were distracted, partying, scrolling, talking about dreams they'll never chase, you were building quietly, obsessively, without the need to explain yourself. Because when it's time to shine, you won't need to say a word. Your results will scream so loud that the world will ask, where did he come from? And the answer will be simple. You came from the dark, from the grind no one saw, from the discipline no one believed you had. You can't cheat that process. There's no shortcut, no hack, no overnight success. The darkness is the test. It's what separates those who are serious from those who are pretending. Most want the glow without earning it. They want the prize without paying the price. But if you're really about it, if you really want to rise, then you have to embrace the quiet, the early mornings, the late nights, the self-doubt, the failure, the pain, and you keep pushing, not because someone is watching, but because you made a promise to yourself. That's the kind of mindset that creates a legacy, a future so powerful that it silences everyone who doubted you. And here's the thing, the darkness won't always feel good. There will be days when it feels endless, days where you'll question if the light will ever come. But it does. It always does for those who stay consistent. That's where most people fall. They stop digging just before they strike gold. But if you keep showing up, keep working, keep sharpening your craft with no spotlight, the day will come when everything changes. Suddenly, the world starts noticing. The respect, the attention, the rewards, they all arrive at once. And you'll know deep down that none of it was luck. It was earned in silence, one brutal day at a time. So don't run from the darkness. Don't fear the isolation. Don't crave the attention. Use the silence. Let it mold you. Let it strip away your weakness. Let it force you to evolve. Because when the world finally sees you, when the light finally hits what you've become, they won't see the pain, the sacrifice, the nights you bled for it. They'll just see the success. And that's exactly how it should be. Let them wonder how you did it. Let your success shine so bright they can't ignore it. But never forget, it all started in the dark. There comes a point in life where words are no longer enough. Promises, plans, intentions, they all lose weight when they're not backed by action. Everyone talks. Everyone has dreams, goals, and ambitions. But in the end, only a few have the discipline and hunger to turn those words into reality. That's why the real ones stay quiet, because they've learned that talking about it doesn't get it done. Results do. You see, there was a time when maybe you felt like you had to explain yourself, had to justify your goals, your drive, your silence. Maybe you were misunderstood, underestimated, even mocked for taking a different path. And maybe you tried to prove yourself with words, try to get people to believe in your vision. But the truth is, no one really listens until you give them something they can't ignore. People don't respect noise. They respect results. That's why you need to stop wasting your energy trying to be understood and start using every ounce of it to become undeniable. Stop posting about what you're going to do. Stop talking about your next move. Just move quietly, consistently, obsessively. Let the world sleep on you. Let them laugh. Let them doubt. But every time they doubt you, it's another brick for your foundation. Every time they ignore you, it's more fuel for your fire. Use the silence. Use the loneliness. Use every bit of rejection as proof that you're doing something different, something they'll never understand until it's too late. And when that moment comes, when the results show up, let them choke on their own words. Let your life become the answer to every doubt, every insult, every laugh they threw your way. because there's nothing more powerful than results. Results don't stutter, they don't argue, they don't defend. They speak clearly, loudly, without emotion. Results walk into a room and change the conversation. They silence critics. They validate the pain, the sacrifice, the discipline. You don't have to prove your worth to anyone when your success speaks volumes. That's the level you need to get to. Not where you're constantly trying to explain who you are, but where your existence becomes the explanation. And the path to that level is not glamorous. It's not loud. It's not full of applause. It's lonely. It's brutal. It's slow. It's early mornings and late nights. It's getting up after failure number 10 and still pushing like it's your first day. It's holding the vision in your head when no one else sees it yet. That's what separates the doers from the talkers. Most people quit when the world doesn't clap. You keep going until the world can't look away. But there's nothing wrong with silence. Silence isn't weakness. It's concentration. It's focus. It's a difference between chasing attention and chasing mastery. You don't need to be seen every step of the way. You don't need a crowd to validate your efforts. The right ones will notice when the time comes. And the wrong ones, let them stay blind. You're not building your life to impress them anyway. You're doing it because you refuse to settle. You refuse to live a life of average and excuses. You refuse to be another person who had potential and wasted it running their mouth instead of running their mission. People remember results. They remember impact. They remember the ones who didn't just talk about what they were going to do, but did it ruthlessly, relentlessly, day after day. The loudest ones rarely make it because they burn out chasing attention instead of purpose. But the ones who grind in silence, who put their heads down and give everything they've got, those are the ones who build legacies. Not just careers or moments, but legacies. So whatever you're building, whatever you're chasing, whatever war you're fighting within yourself, keep going. Let your work speak. Let your growth speak. Let your transformation speak. Let your life speak so loudly that your past self wouldn't even recognize you. That's when you know you've arrived. Not when people hear your words, but when they feel your presence. Let results speak where words once lived. Because at the end of the day, real power doesn't shout. It shows up and demands respect without saying a word. And when it's all said and done, when the dust settles, the noise fades, and the doubters go silent, it'll be